what can we do for you? Not how can I help you, what can we do for you? What do you need? And you're going to get answers that may not involve you,
But there is also inherently a belief by many of these people that we don't know what we want. I want to say quite clearly that no consultant could tell me what I want. I know what I want. I may not know all the answers of how to do it, but I know what I want.
If there are benefits to overseas global health experiences for medical students, these ethical questions must be addressed so good intentions can lead to the desired outcomes of creating global citizens, fair partnerships, and ultimately sustainable healthcare systems. Appropriate preparation is key to this process.
It's always the people who say that they don't need pre-departure training who are the ones who actually need it.
A lot of them come with a kind of a pie-in-the-sky idea that they're going to make a big impact in the health of a developing country, which is completely unrealistic. A lot of them are not particularly culturally sensitive, and so they do inflame the local doctors, in fact, with some of the way they act, some of the things they do, some of the things they wear. For instance, we have consider that a medical professional would smoke, but a lot of European medical students do, and so that's a very, that's a very cross-cultural experience. A lot of our young women medical students wear very sort of brief things on the ward that are not appropriate for what women would wear in India, which reflects that I think these students are not well prepared for their overseas experience. They come with poor attitudes. They're not humble, and they're not willing to observe what's happening and fit in appropriately, but to keep their own culture despite working in a developing country.
Really, if you wanted to really properly prepare for an elective, you'd probably have to take a couple of years.
Learn as much as you can about the culture and the people before you go. What I see with a lot of programs is that people go, and this is not just students, mission trips and lots of different things. If people go to another country, they don't really understand the issues before they go, and they try to apply North American solutions to other areas of the world, and it doesn't work well. And what I found also is that if you don't learn before you go, if you just try to go and practice or give, that you may just reinforce your own prejudices.
To start, don't go with the kind of Lonely Planet Guide version of culture or the National Geographic version of culture, because that's an incomplete picture. I would say find somebody from the country that you're going to. Talk to them about what they feel like the issues are.
Can a program really prepare you for living in Africa, India, or South America? No way. No way. Not even close. But can it give you some awareness of what you're going to encounter and prepare you for some of the scary things that you will encounter? Yes, I think it can.
If we are to achieve fair partnerships, there is a significant deficit in our current programs. As much as students from the West are able to travel to developing countries in order to achieve their learning objectives, the reverse is rare.
For example, for myself, I had an opportunity to go to study in Europe, and I spent time there. So at least I have a picture, a small picture of what is going there. And my stay there have helped me a lot.
Partnerships with the universities have grown, and this year we're hoping to see some Thai medical students come here to Halifax to do an elective. So that reciprocity that we've always been wanting to see is starting to actually happen. So that's a very exciting benefit, and that's also reflected in the partnership. And the partnership isn't only a student partnership, it's also a faculty and research partnership. So that the summer program in Thailand is all of the players within the university, and I think that is a huge benefit.
Actually, one of the problems we have had is that we don't get enough South-South exchanges. We need more of this. We get a lot of North-South. By North, I mean the Western countries exchanges. We get people from Canada, from the US, from some European countries, even from Australia. But we have had a few from South Africa. We haven't had enough students from the other African countries, and that's a limitation.
Regardless of where a student comes from, and as important as it is to prepare before leaving, having an organized program with structure through the host institution can mitigate some of the more negative impacts on the host community and ensure that the balance of service and learning is fair to patients and learners alike. Universities, as the institutions that support students, can play a significant role in ensuring that partnerships achieve their goals.
The growing phenomenon of medical students going into different environments and enhancing their education through experiences outside of a classroom and textbook has never been considered as a significant part of our training. So that many people who go and participate do not get the extra credit for it or so on. Because at the end of the day, you will graduate just like your colleagues who never went.
The other piece is the complexity of global health. So we assume that there is a problem and there's an easy answer, but there's not. And we talk about the determinants of health, and they make life very complicated. So sometimes we look at one answer and we try and put a band-aid on it, but what it does is it creates a much bigger problem somewhere else. So for example, a student may have identified a partner that they want to work with, but they've not looked at what that relationship is with the university, or that partner with the corporate world, with mining companies or pharmaceutical companies. So those broader ethical questions have not been explored.
That's what kind of encircles this whole problem, is how to go about defining your role and engaging in a productive way, in a meaningful way, without compromising people's dignity and without becoming paralyzed. It's very easy to become paralyzed when you think of all these ethical questions. Is it